All right, Cousin Sal is here, our friend. We walked the course today. Nice. We're going to talk about that later. The Masters. Your agent, James Baby Doll Dixon, is here.
What a day. So much fun.
We'll talk about that next segment. We're going to talk about the Denver Nuggets and the West and basketball and the NBA playoffs.
Can I just first thank you guys for giving me some winning futures in the beginning of the year? I heard you talk about how you bet your own futures and lost. Maybe you should come to me after your podcast so I could tell you who to bet. Houston makes the playoffs. Yes. Pelicans, no playoffs. Yes. Denver under wins. Yes. Spurs under wins. Yes. Suns overs a loss. Wizards under. Yes.
We did above average on our locks. I'm really upset about how we handled the Pacific. The LA teams, Sacramento and
the
Phoenix.
Lakers.
Phoenix and the two LA teams ruined my over-unders.
Yeah.
Anyway.
You just went over. Those two went through crazy transformation. So it's not really
anyway.
Right.
So the Denver Nuggets.
Yeah.
We have FanDuel. I introduced these to you.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of buried on the FanDuel Sportsbook NBA page where they have 2 advance each round.
Mm.
And I don't remember seeing those last year. I was incredibly fascinated by them. So round 2, to make round 2, that means you're winning in round 1. And we're taping this before a couple of the Tuesday night games.
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be some standing shenanigans. We have 5 teams that have 32 losses. Denver's one of them who just fired their coach and GM.
Right. Is Denver in a post-Malone time period right now?
This is good.
Wow.
Come on.
The Cousin Sal
Where's
is
the drummer?
here.
Where's the drummer?
The Cousin Sal is here.
OKC is minus 1,300 to make round 2 house. And that jumped out to me immediately because what if they played Minnesota or the Clippers? I think OKC would beat either of those teams, but I don't think they're 13-1 favorites to beat the Clippers if that was the series. Or Golden State.
What do you think the price is? Because those guys, both the Clippers and Minnesota, super short prices as dogs. It must be that they think Memphis is going to be the 8 because Memphis is plus 350.
Yeah.
Right.
And honestly, that does make sense. Memphis
I should have mentioned that too. So Clippers are plus 130 to make round 2. Minnesota's plus 154 to make round 2. Memphis is plus 350. But OKC is minus 1,300. It feels
that doesn't
like
make sense.
It doesn't make sense.
If Memphis is even the 8 at plus 350, FanDuel screwed up. Thanks for sending us out here, but they screwed up. They're not smart.
We
people.
let me FanDuel, but you didn't. You added something wrong here. And then the Lakers are minus 172. Golden State's minus 152. Denver is plus 106, and Houston is plus 114, which was another one that jumped out to me because they're gonna have. We know they're the 2 seed. They're playing as well as they played all season. And it's 2-7, and I just think they're going to be favored. So if I get them at plus 114, that's great. But I think that whole list, what shocked you the most out of those 8 teams, Sal?
I mean, that's weird now that you bring it up. If Houston is going to be a 2 seed as an underdog, right? If you're guaranteed, they're not guaranteed, but looking good, 2 seed. Has that happened in a while where a 2 seed's an underdog? I mean, that jumped out.
Every once in a while, they're like Memphis had that year where they were the 2 seed, but nobody believed in it, and there was good value in them.
Let's price it, because let's say it's Houston against Minnesota.
Right.
They won't be an underdog to Minnesota. It'll be like very close to even odds, don't you think?
Right.
They'll be a tiny favorite.
Because they're home, they'll have home court.
Yeah, so right now, Minnesota's 7 and Memphis is 8.
Mm-hmm.
And Houston's 2. So arguably playing one of those. Golden State has 2 easy games the next 2.
It's bizarre.
Denver just fired their coach. They've lost 4 in a row. And they're going to be playing the Kings, the Grizzlies at home, and then at Houston in the last game of the season, which Houston might not care about because they'll have the 2 seed locked up. So I don't know. I think Minnesota versus Houston, just fundamentally, if that's a 2-7 series house, where would your money be in that series?
I'm definitely betting on Minnesota. There's no
I
ways
think
about
that's
it.
how I feel about it too.
I guarantee you.
Because they've screwed us enough. We have this big parlay that needs Minnesota to run the table losing wise to pay off. And it actually might be over by now because
it's probably over.
Tuesday night. Yeah. So we just want to figure out how much we want our teeth kicked in by Minnesota this year.
What would you set that line at? Minnesota.
I think Houston. House is right. Like Houston, only because they're home. But it'd be
tiny.
Minus 125 or something.
So maybe that explains these prices. I guess the problem for FanDuel and just trying to set these prices in general is if you have one upset. want anything happening.
Yeah. You don't want
now
to
all of a sudden I have Denver plus 106, but all of a sudden they're in the 7th spot playing Houston, and maybe they'd be favored in that series because of Jokic.
That's a great question. Who would you have favored in Denver, Houston?
Yeah, so now you're talking.
I think Houston's good. I'd be a little. I'd bet Minnesota, but I don't think I'd put a lot of money on that.
I saw too many games with Houston where from the 8-minute mark in the fourth quarter to the end of the game, they turn flaccid.
Did you see anything?
They turn limp.
Did you see anything of what Amen Thompson did to Curry in that game, though?
It was awesome. Absolutely,
I thought
awesome.
that was he
was
just
impressive.
Took out now Curry. The problem with Golden State and why they're going to be so hard to figure out is they're an older team.
Right.
Their best 3 guys are either old or getting old. And they have a situation like they play 2 really hard Thursday, Friday games. And then they play Sunday against that young, big, powerful Rockets team. And they just looked old.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I thought the Rockets, they beat OKC and Golden State in the same weekend. That's nothing.
They're good.
With nothing to play for. And they talk a bunch of shit.
They're good.
Ime was talking shit to Steph.
I mean, this just shows me that FanDuel hates Houston to make them a plus number as a 2 seed, most likely. And then we don't have to go on to the next round, but to make the West Finals at plus 470, playing the 4 or 5 seed, right?
So
or
Houston,
the 3-6 seed.
And I should have flagged this for you. Houston was plus 790 like 5 days ago to make the Western Finals.
Really?
As a 2 seed, they were basically getting 8-1 odds. And if you just price that out, they're going to be the favorites or close in both series, right? Houston's plus 470 now. I think looking at the odds, the shocking thing to me is how much respect they give the Lakers and how afraid. And I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just saying the Lakers are being treated almost like they're a defending champ type situation. They're minus 172 to win a round. They're plus 168 to win 2 rounds. And there's a chance they might, maybe they don't even have home court in round 2, right? Potentially they couldn't, but it just seems like
that's like a lot of people. That might be respect. That might be different from you. There just might be a lot of tickets on the Lakers. Like right after that Luka trade, everyone must have just dialed into them and bet them to win the West.
So they're so scared of that.
Yeah, so there's a lot of liability there. But I do think for the West Finals, all right, OKC minus 290, throw that out of there. If you think Denver's done, you got a nice opportunity to make some money here, picking either the Lakers or Golden State or the Clippers.
Well, the problem is if Denver drops to 7 out of nowhere,
and
it's Houston versus Denver in a 2-7.
Right.
I think looking at the odds, the best odds to me seem to be Minnesota to make the West Finals. I think the odds have adjusted correctly, but Minnesota basically 7-1 to make the West Finals to win 2 rounds.
We need to take a break for this podcast so I can go.
What?
I'll be right back.
Oh, to make a thing.
I got to go make a bet.
I thought it was a bathroom thing.
It could be both. I could do it in the bathroom. We did eat a lot of pizza today, cuz.
I really wanted the Clips to have better odds because I thought maybe they would be the sleeper pick, but plus 420 to win 2 rounds there's no value at all.
No value.
And there might be underdogs both rounds. That doesn't make sense. And if you really wanted to get nuts, do Memphis plus 1550 to win 2 rounds. That's insane.
It's just throwing money
But there's
away.
a chance they could get the 7 seed and be in the 2-7, right?
Yeah.
That would be
Houston,
the case.
That Memphis Houston would be awesome. That would be an awesome series.
But
there would be
that's 2 series at plus 450 and plus 300. Would that be what they are in the first 2 series? So that's basically what 1550 is.
So, House, for that first round, the advance to round 2, if somehow the Clippers are the 8 seed and OKC's the 1 seed, and you have OKC at minus 1,300 to advance to round 2, I would be fucking nervous with that one because I don't think the Clips can beat OKC, but I think they can make you nervous if you have a lot of OKC money, right?
Absolutely, positively. I want no part of that. If Kawhi, it seems like should knock on wood. There's some wood in this house, some fine marble I see, but I'm going to knock on some wood because we want Kawhi healthy for the first round. I don't think they're going to drop though. The Clippers are playing too well, and their last 3 games are reasonable for them.
So here's the real value, to make the finals. So this is 3 rounds. OKC's minus 145. Lakers plus 650. I just don't think that's They're going to be
Make the
underdogs
NBA
in
finals?
2 of those. You have to win 3 rounds.
This is to win the Western Conference.
Yeah.
This is the bet.
You have to. Lakers plus 650, Golden State 7-1, Denver 10-1, Clips 16-1, Minnesota 21-1, Houston 24-1, and Memphis 70-1. So the case for Golden State or the Lakers is this, other than that they have famous players and a good infrastructure and all that stuff. What does your record have to be? What's the worst possible record you could have and make the Western Finals? A little math question for you guys.
I mean, including the playoff, like all that.
First 3 rounds, what's the worst record you could have and still make the finals?
4-3, 4-3, 5.
Yeah.
12-9.
12-9.
12-8.
12-9.
Yeah.
So if you think of it that way, it's like, could a team with Luka and LeBron go 12-9 over 21 games? It's like, yeah, that seems realistic. Like Golden State. Could Golden State go 12-9 for 3 rounds? And it's like, yeah, they're going to have a game like they had Sunday where they look old. Steph has 3 points. Even think of like when they played Memphis a couple years ago in 22.
Yeah.
And they got blown out in game 5
Right.
and then they just won in game 6. When you think about 12-9, it's just not that hard.
I like the way you're going.
It's
with
weird
it.
because we usually look at this point of year like, all right, who's the toughest out? Who's the toughest to beat 4 times? But if you do it that way, 12-9 is doable. Yeah.
Well, think about the Lakers, like 12-9. Let's say there's 3 incredible Luka games. There's 3. Let's give LeBron 2 incredible LeBron games. All right, now I have 5.
Right.
Let's give Reeves 1 awesome game.
Sure.
Where they win just because Reeves is great. All right, now I have 6 of the 12. All right, now let's have a LeBron and Luka are awesome in the same game. There's 2 more. You can get to 12 pretty easily.
I think you're right. I think those odds are it's weird because we just said a lot of people might have Lakers tickets, but when we talk about the toughest out, Oklahoma City is the toughest to beat 4 times probably, but not 6 times as tough as the Lakers to beat 4 times.
Well, so
right?
here's the case for OKC.
Yeah.
They're going to finish the season 68-14, 67-15, and then it becomes math.
Right.
So over 6 months, they lost 14 times.
Right.
And now we're going to get to the playoffs and they're going to lose 9 times in 21 games.
Right.
That's where it gets stupid. This was the case for the Celtics last year. At some point, the math takes over. But OKC did get their ass kicked the other day against the Lakers.
Yeah.
And it's like, why did they get their ass kicked? Were they showing anything? Or did they call off the dogs? Or did this actually mean something?
Right.
I don't know. Houston seems to be, I would say, most disrespected in the West.
I think it's appropriate. I think
But
it's fine.
they're going to be the 2 seed.
Yeah.
And they're going to have home court in the first 2 rounds.
True story.
24-1 is a good price.
The 2 seed getting the 7th best seed odds is remarkable. It doesn't make any sense. 24-1. Yeah. Yeah. For all 3 of those categories, Houston's getting ripped.
All right, Sal, a couple other things for you.
Yeah.
Who do you want Dallas to take with the 12th pick in the draft?
Yeah. I want a lineman. I know there's like 2. It's just crazy. I know we're going to screw this up.
We're doing football now.
I know. I kind of love it.
Fun.
Moved right to
They're
football.
talking about the Arizona receiver or talking about, like, this is a team that needs everything in my head. Like, everybody who roots for their team, like, oh, we need like 8 positions. Not you, House. You free agented every way. You're waiting.
No, we still
playoffs
need
again.
8 defensive positions.
Give us a lineman. I don't know exactly which one is going to drop to
okay.
us because, we lost one of the best in the game.
So I was looking at the draft odds.
Yeah.
Sadly, it seems like the draft has shook out in a way that's not great for the New England Patriots. Where Cam Ward's 1. Seems like Hunter's going to be 2. He's minus 280 now to go to Cleveland. And then Carter is now minus 170 on FanDuel to be the 3rd pick.
Oh, you were really hoping for Shedeur to sneak in there.
And I don't think it's happening. And Sanders, he's 4-1 to go 3rd. He's 17-1 to go 2nd. And I think the odds are probably better that he's going to fall. There's a team to draft Shedeur Sanders odds that I thought was pretty fun because you can really take it. I mean, Dallas is 26-1, Sal.
You can take a couple of these. This is like a nice roulette thing, right? We put money on a few numbers. I never get it right, though.
Well, if people are right, and I think it feels like, as somebody who's watched a lot of this draft stuff, and a couple of people have kind of like, I'm not sure. You might be closer to Andy Dalton than people realize. but nobody really wants to come out and say, I don't think he's a top 5 pick.
Yeah.
He's not good enough. Nobody has come out strongly, but I think that's coming. And if he does the Aaron Rodgers slide into the late part of round 1,
right,
and we start going into like, I don't know, Miami range, 27-1.
sure, maybe even some before that. Yes.
Colts 22-1.
Seattle Colts, yeah.
Seattle 22-1.
Mm-hmm.
Rams 11-1.
That makes a lot of sense to me, honestly.
Steelers plus 450. But it seems like there's some sort of value there that we're not seeing. The other thing I was looking at was if the Pats trade back. I think Genty is seems like he's going to have some real juice as the draft gets closer. Raiders are minus 145 for him. They're picking 6th.
Mm-hmm.
And if they get scared, somebody's going to leapfrog them. Maybe they just move up 2 spots with the Pats if the Pats want to take a left tackle.
Right.
But him going to the Raiders is minus 145. Saints is 9-1. And then your team, Sal, 15-1.
It's so funny because I would even look further down because to me, it's still like, all right, if these GMs wisen up, a running back that early, just even in the first round, but that early, should only go to a team that's one piece away from making the playoffs or making a deep run in the playoffs. I'm sorry. That's not your team. That's not the Raiders. Probably not the Bears.
The only case for
it's not
my
team for sure. But
the only case for my team is if they're like, this is a Peyton Manning, Edge James situation.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have our 2 guys. We won't be able to block for either of them, but we have. This is an Emmitt Smith, Troy Aikman. Like there's a model here for this. I'm pretty consistent with this. Like if you're picking that high, I need to get somebody that in free agency in 4 to 5 years is going to be like a $30 million a year guy. Yeah. And running backs don't make that much, you know?
Yeah.
Tackles do, cornerbacks do, pass rushers do. And I just feel like if you're picking that high, even if they took Mason Graham, it's like that's a guy that will, if he's good, will be like a $25 to $30 million a year player.
Yeah.
A running back will not. But once you're in the range you're in, it starts to get more interesting. Then you're in that Jahmyr Gibbs range.
Right. Yeah. I don't think, I think you got your player that everyone needs to be excited about, and that's a coach.
Yeah.
It's your coach.
Brable,
so now you don't have to, kowtow to the fans. You could draft smart and go back to drafting smart like you do. I mean, I think like Denver at 75-1, like kind of 1-ish piece away from doing that,
Running back.
Well, they did running back by committee.
Yeah.
And it was not very successful.
Right. Exactly.
So that makes it, I like that price a lot.
The Dallas Cowboys are 7-1 to take a running back.
To take a running back first.
Plus, to take a running back first. Plus 230 to take a receiver. You can do that. FanDuel has all these positions.
It's a lot of fun.
The kid from North Carolina has been getting a ton of buzz, and they're starting to do this thing about, is this a Bijan Robinson, Jahmyr Gibbs kind of year?
What position do you think Washington will take?
I pray edge. I pray one of the guys
edge
that they
rusher?
like at edge.
That's plus 170 on FanDuel.
Makes perfect sense, right?
Yeah.
That's the lowest odds for the position.
Yeah. The one that they don't have yet that I think they should have is who's going to be the second quarterback drafted.
Yeah, they usually do.
Because Dart versus Sanders is a really fun one.
Ooh.
Because couldn't you see the Saints just taking Dart 9th out of nowhere? Like, whoa!
Right. Yeah.
Like one of those?
Yeah, for sure. And Dart, like, it's so funny because now we see how many people show up. Everybody reports on how many Giants showed up for Shedeur Sanders' pro day. It's like 37 Giants. There were 14 players and 3 front office guys. It ends up being like ratings for this. And that affects the odds. Like how many, so that's why people think. But yeah, the same thing for what you're saying here. I could see it.
Well, speaking of affecting the odds, FanDuel, they've been an awesome partner to us. That they're the reason we're here at the Masters right now. Yeah. And occasionally I'll text them and badger them and make them do props and bets and stuff, including some golf ones that we're going to talk about in 1 second. But I made them do an exact order bet. This is my dream scenario for the Pats, which was Cam Ward, Sanders, Hunter. We get Abdul Carter 4th. So they put that up. They priced it. They had their trading desk priced it.
Yeah.
And it was plus 750 for that foursome. This was 2 weeks ago. It's now 17-1.
Did you
and it's
did you
not
make
going
them
well.
change it?
No, they're just dropping. They're increasing the odds because
what happened? Did they send in some tariffs?
No buyers.
Was there a Shedeur Sanders tariff?
wasn't did not turn
Dropped
out.
them, killed the market.
Wow, what happened that made that go up? That aside from no one
I think what happened is Sanders. It became clear he wasn't going to go 2 or 3.
Okay,
but for the top 5 pick bet was the other one I was looking at.
Yeah,
and Mason Graham is minus 140. And I just don't see how he falls past Jacksonville at 5.
Okay.
Either the Pats take him, which I'd be fine with because then they would have an awesome D-line with hopefully Barmore's healthy. Guy they signed from Philly, they spent a lot of money on. And Graham, that sounds great. Let's have an awesome D-line. Or Jacksonville takes him. But that's minus 140. Seems like good odds. It gets a little scarier after that. Like Will Campbell, the left tackle everyone thinks the Pats are going to take. I just don't think they take him at
minus
4.
135.
I think they trade back a couple spots if they're taking him because nobody else is going to take him.
Is the NFL draft or the mock draft the biggest? All right, we're full of shit, but you have no choice but to follow us.
No,
thing?
I think it's like the Malone Booth thing. I think there's so much scuttlebutt, and I think they talk to so many people, and I think these guys get real info.
They end up 6 out of 32, and if there's one trade, it screws everything up.
No, but I'm saying info about who's
looking for what.
By now, we know if Sanders is going to be a top 4 pick or not. And he's just not. It's not happening.
Right. All right. So maybe if you
we know stuff like that.
You could outline the top 3 or 4, but after that,
we know Cam Ward, like Tennessee's taking him. Like we've done that for a little while. Yeah. No,
I'm just saying. Joe Lenardi goes 67 to 68 and gets death threats, and then everybody else like Kuiper goes 7 for 32. And it's like, yeah, great job. All right.
Well,
Can't wait to see you next year.
The NFL has teams like Atlanta who draft Michael Penix Jr. at number 9.
Right. Yeah,
like,
everything gets
I'm zagging. Pretty good pick.
No, but that's what I'm saying. You might as
Michael
well.
Penix might be the first pick in this draft.
It's a great pick if
they just hadn't spent $90 million on Kirk Cousins.
If you just don't care about money,
I'm just saying, don't bet minus 170 on anything. Just like because of this.
Because I think that's great advice.
So
dead
crazy.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely.
With that said, Genty plus 850, I think, is a really interesting bet.
Okay.
For where?
Yeah. For a top 5 pick.
Ooh. Nah, I'm not doing it. You can't have a
running
back
to trade
in top
up.
5.
If he's Bijan, Barkley, that level, and everybody thinks that, and people think the Raiders are going to take him at 6, and they want to leapfrog him and get to 4 or 5 to take him, that's the path. But plus 850 seems like pretty good odds for that.
That is a Raiders move. That would be fun. Get the hell out of there.
So you like that one?
Would Tom Brady permit that?
Yeah.
Did any of since we did the NFL over under pod, and we did the Sal and I did that.
I listened,
and we told House, here's the Niners price, and you would have thought I told House Trump's about to do tariffs. Assume all these short positions. I haven't heard House that excited about a win total probably in my life.
Did it stay the same?
No,
10.5.
It's down. Oh, it's still 10.5, but there's minus 135
right.
juice now. In the
10.5. That's still not a bad price.
I held, I caught my breath and I thought about it.
Yeah.
And I don't think they're very good. And I think they're going to have, with this huge overhaul, it's not going to be the same team we're looking at and everything. But I thought about it and I was like, and I still don't think they should be favored to win the division. But I said, boy, if you had your choice of being in any division with any schedule, you would want to play a 4th place schedule and against the AFC South and the NFC South.
And that's what
that's what they're doing.
Yeah.
They do have the easiest schedule as we sit here today. We haven't seen what the rest situation and all that is and how it will affect it. But I don't know who's on that team. I don't know what the skill positions are.
You took everybody from their team.
It's Brock Purdy and it's Trent Williams and it's McCaffrey on how many on half a leg, on one leg? I mean,
one leg?
Yeah.
Does he even have one leg anymore?
It's Fred Warner, plays defense. That's it.
We're going to do some master stuff.
Yeah.
Before we do the draft, we're going to do, we have a bunch of ringer specials that are on the FanDuel Sportsbook right now, including House's Frog Frenzy Region Parlay,
Yeah.
which is Matsuyama top Asian and McElroy top UK plus 460. Why is it the Frog Frenzy House?
Because those guys are teammates. They're teammates on the Boston Common TGL team, the Ball Frogs. And
you might be the only person that knows this.
Hideki, I think, played in like half a match. I don't remember seeing him.
So
they weren't
glad
very
that's
good.
the explanation. It could have gone so many different ways.
Frog Frenzy. That's it.
I thought you were going to get canceled for a second. I thought something horrible happened.
No.
We keep like, why did he frog?
I explained it when I put it in there. Anytime you have the Ball Frogs as a potential parlay, you got to do it.
So, House, you have Justin Thomas winning the Masters.
I do.
What's the case?
In the first place.
By the way, 22-1.
So that's the most important aspect of this. I think it's a great price for where he is in terms of his success this year. His biggest problem over this drought, this winning drought that he's in, he hasn't won in over 2 years, has been putting. He putted very poorly last season, and his putting has greatly improved. And his numbers, he's been competitive. I mean, he choked down the stretch 2 weeks ago in Tampa, Florida. He had a 3-stroke lead going into the final 5 holes and lost to Victor Hovland, who birdied 2 of the last 3. So, I mean, it was a sensible loss. But I love where JT is in terms of his off the tee numbers. I love where he is in terms of approach. And the key thing for me is the price, because I don't think you're getting any return on Scottie Scheffler or Rory McIlroy. And I will pivot immediately if one of those guys comes out and shoots 66 on Thursday. But JT at 22-1 doesn't match up with the caliber and quality of his play thus far this season. So that's why I did it.
And then, Sal, you jumped on
Morikawa.
A bandwagon.
Why is that?
He's a bandwagon.
I haven't heard anyone else take him.
Pick. Oh, so many people.
Really?
I love
16-1 on FanDuel. What was your case?
4th in the world. Came in 3rd last year. Came in 10th the year before. Came in 5th in 2022. He's never missed a Masters cut, so you know you're going to see him Saturday, Sunday. He's going to be on the board. I think people are down on him because of that outburst with House. You say that's not even an outburst when he blew a 3-stroke lead with 5 left in the Arnold Palmer last month, and he wouldn't talk to the press. Who gives a crap? Don't talk to me. I'll talk to you when I win here.
He didn't talk to the press because he was waiting for the winner to finish, and he was waiting, and he was waiting, and he was waiting, and the tour never got him and said, come, here's how we're going to sequence this. He just left.
Very
he signed all these
tour apologist, Joe House.
I'm a Morikawa stan.
He finished inside the top 20 in all 4 majors last year.
I think it's a great bet. I have some Morikawa exposure. I just love the price for JT. That's the reason that I went with JT.
We did hit one bet already the Masters, that we'd run into Scott Van Pelt and he would take us to the Butler cabin and we would get a group photo.
Yeah.
Which I put on my Instagram.
That was
like
the Butler cabin. I haven't seen House that excited. Probably, I'm trying to think of a scenario where you would have the look on your face that you had, and I think it involves the word free massage.
I won't go there. It was stunning. I can't overstate how, like the sequence of events. First of all,
it happened in 8 seconds.
We walked all the way up 10 to get to the top of the hill to where all the social scene is happening. The media people, all that happens at the putting green, where 1 and 10 come together. It's a big scene.
Kudos to Nathan Hubbard, who's asleep right now because he had 14 pieces of pizza. But he was like, let's go up there. We'll run into someone. He's like, good call. We'll run into somebody.
But we had to stop halfway up because the cousin Sal has never walked up 10.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's a real walk.
Forgot it was like the Denver Nuggets bench with all the rookies. We forgot that Sal was a rookie and didn't realize we're just going uphill
Simmons
for an hour.
Ridiculous walker by eating pizza and oysters. That's how I train.
But the sequence of events went from that moment.
And
then we're up there, and then like, hey, there's SV Baby Doll takes charge, goes right up.
Oh, he knows me.
He knows
he's
me.
Gonna fucking love this. Yeah. SVP, good job.
Baby Doll only got scolded 3 times for smoking.
For smoking, yeah.
Anyway, we ran an SVP, saw the Butler cabin, which was about the size of the room we're in now, almost.
It's weird how small it is.
But cool brick fireplace.
Amazing. It's a TV studio.
Mm-hmm.
It is completely floor to ceiling outfit for perfect TV, for video audio. It's like walking into, any a proper studio where you guys know how to do TV shows. I was surprised by that aspect.
Yeah,
of
it's
it.
like there'd be a Ringer studio right outside Small World ride in Disneyland. It's like, why is this here?
It's also always fun to run into Van Pelt because he's gigantic.
He's so tall.
He's like 6'5". You always forget how like tall he is.
Yeah.
And just famous.
What a homie.
Great guy. My Masters winner is Rory McIlroy at plus 650. It's. I always make fun of you for being sentimental about Rory.
You do.
Somebody that drove us around a little bit the last 2 days, Matt, who we've been fortunate enough to get to know a little bit, and he had some Rory intel about Rory was kind of popping back here to play the course and just making a couple extra trips.
Yeah, Augusta native Matt.
Yeah,
keeping his eye on things for us.
Just that Rory seemed especially focused this year, and I just like the moment. I mean, he's running out of time. From a he's in his extended prime now, I would say. I don't think there's a lot more years where he's in the mix like this as a favorite. And this feels like to me, like if it's going to happen, it's going to be like, got to be like this year or next year.
So that's interesting because we are in this era where we see athletes, extend their career.
Primes, right.
And he has been very fortunate in terms of avoiding injury. He does seem like with his swing, he's been able to get more out of it. He hits the ball even further than ever in his 30s, and he doesn't have these injuries that pop up that much. So I think there's a window of time that I would say it's at least like 5 years. But your point is right. There is not a long history of Masters winners, once you hit age 35.
If he could avoid injury like he avoided Baby Doll today.
So 35, 4 years left?
I would give him like 6 or 7. I mean, remember,
when
Jack
we get
Nicklaus,
into our 40s, are we still in your prime at this point in golf?
I mean,
so basically, he's
Tiger
got the 2020s left.
He's got some time. I'm not ready.
This is the moment, though.
This is a crucial moment. It's not going to be any better because he's never come into a Masters having won twice on American soil, and his numbers are through the roof in terms of the quality of his.
Look, in our defense, House and I
else.
bet golf every weekend, and we've had money on Rory blowing round 4 a lot. Right? I mean, that's the hesitation. That's
36 years old, Rory.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We're around when it should happen again pretty soon.
It would be great. I'm rooting for it. I just didn't. I'll live bet it if he comes out. His biggest problem has been Thursday. He hasn't scored well on Thursday.
Is he the number one player or team you've live bet the most?
Oh wow.
And then I'll ask Sal. I think for Sal, it's the Chiefs.
It might be Alex Pereira, but it's funny. We discussed this on Against All Odds. Like if you had to assign a point value from 1 to 100 on guys and teams that you've bet on the most. So Pereira, McIlroy, Chestnut. Those are my 3.
I think mine are the Brady Pats.
Oh, that's a good
like halftime bets, stuff like that. Yeah. Just like we're fucking this. We're coming back.
Yeah.
Man, I miss those days.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to take a break and come back and do a little Masters draft. You're listening to the Bill Simmons podcast presented by FanDuel. FanDuel Sportsbook is the best place to bet on the NBA. We have these fun little Tuesday, Friday player performance stuff. We have same game parlays. We have picks from me sometimes and boosts and all kinds of fun things. Get ready in the playoffs. Download the FanDuel Sportsbook app today to get in on the action. And by the way, The Ringer is committed to responsible gaming. Please visit theringer.com/RG to learn more. Listen to the end of this episode for additional details. Must be 21 plus, present in select states. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit rg-help.com. All right, for this last segment, I always make fun of NFL pregame shows when they have too many people on, and we're about to have a 6-person segment, but we only have 4 mics, so I think it's going to work well. Dave Chang joined us.
Hello.
Nathan Hubbard joined us.
Hello.
And James Baby Doll Dixon is here.
Yo, Baby Doll. So glad to be here with you.
We have never been at the Masters together.
No, we have not.
Never been in the Masters with Sal. I've been with Chang. I've been with Nathan. I've been with House, obviously, who no longer has a mic. Maybe that's a good thing. You guys don't need to share the mic. We're going to bring Chang in.
But I want to share the mic.
Well, Chang has a bum shoulder.
He's got a separated shoulder. Like they surgically removed his shoulder. Now he's leaning on his left side here. Go ahead.
I just want to make you as uncomfortable as possible.
Okay.
And he's also like cooking like a wild
He
man
really
with
is.
this really bad shoulder. It's impressive.
Yeah, he's playing hurt. He's an inspiration to all of us and to everybody except Tiger Woods, who's not here. But there's a lot of good golfers here. Nathan, we didn't talk about, we both picked Rory to win this Masters.
Yeah, we did.
What was your case quickly?
He 10 years ago got 60% of his shots gained from off the tee. Last year, 51%. This year, only 37%. And he is still first in driving, which is to say the rest of his game has gotten way, way better.
See, that was much better and much smarter and more stat driven than my take, which is like more Rory's now hitting his
time.
It's mid-late 30s. It's
And
time.
the vibes are good.
If it's ever going to happen, it's happening right now. And Matt, our guy, told us that he's been hurt a couple times. That was my case. Plus 650. We're going to do a draft.
You didn't trust Matt with your phone, but you do with the Masters pick, huh?
No, I wanted to put my phone.
Okay.
I like getting my phone from
We all
the
left our
clubhouse.
phones with Matt, but Simmons.
I don't know where Matt's going to go. What if his car gets stolen? Okay. We're doing this draft, and FanDuel is going to put odds on it. And we are going to do a Thursday, Friday draft. The 48-hour frenzy, I think we're calling this. Each of us are going to be 2 golfers. Lowest score wins, and people can bet on this on FanDuel Sportsbook.
Yeah.
So if you like my pair more than everyone else's pair, put some odds on it.
Mm-hmm.
House, you don't have a mic. You can't talk. You talk when I talk to you.
You sound like Alec Baldwin's wife.
You're sharing baby's mic. If you want, do you want to share? You have something to say?
No.
Oh, you're doing the Justin Timberlake Barry Gibbs show.
Hold on. Can I just say we haven't figured out what the booby prize is, but whoever comes in last has to do something stupid.
Something humiliating.
Yeah,
on the
something
course
humiliating.
on
Friday, yeah.
I think you have to mix all of the sandwiches on the course together.
Oh, that's pretty good.
And then eat them. Egg
That's a
salad, pork.
Great idea.
I think
Pimento.
I might have done that anyway today, but that's fine. If you guys don't have trouble with that.
All right, let's do the draft, and then we're going to interrogate baby on some stuff. Chang, I'm going to give you the first pick of anyone for Thursday, Friday. So it's not to win the tournament. Just who do you think is going to be the leader Thursday and Friday or have a really good score?
Well, I know you guys are choosing Rory, but I'm going to go with Scotty Scheffler, number 1 pick. I don't think he's going to win, but for the first, 2 days, yes, that's my pick.
Okay. Sal,
Make a case for Scheffler. I don't see. Where's this guy coming from? All right, that's good. And it's the lowest combined score, right?
yeah, Sal, you have second pick.
All right. Well, I did, the last half hour, I said Colin Morikawa. I've not wavered from that pick. I like him. What are his numbers? 3rd last year, 10th the year before, 5th in 2022. Never misses a Masters cut. We had a buddy who said he had lunch with him yesterday. Delightful fella. Dead set on winning this thing. Welcome to Team Sal, Colin Morikawa.
Is that like a name drop? But it was like a mystery name drop. Okay.
It's a mystery name drop.
All right, Nathan, you go third.
Give me Rory McIlroy. It's his time.
It's his time. That was my terrible take.
It's a bad take because Rory has struggled on Thursdays.
Yeah, that's the one.
And that's really the narrative of this tournament. If he plays Thursday well, he's going to win this golf.
Thursday and Friday.
Fair enough.
Baby, you get to go 4th. Who's your pick?
I'm doing the Swede. Aberg.
Ludwig?
Ludwig Aberg.
It's kind of Oberg, isn't
It's
it?
Oberg, but let's let Baby do
whatever.
it.
I don't think if he wins, you shouldn't get credit for that. All right.
Wait,
It's
Freaking Swedish. Oberg,
Definitely
Aberg,
Oberg.
potato, potato. Who gives a shit?
It starts with an A with that little dot over it. When
who
I'm
the
supposed to
hell
follow
knows?
this.
It's an umlaut.
all right. I'm going 5th, and I'm taking Beefy Bryson DeChambeau
Wow.
Nice.
with my
like that.
5th pick. All right, House, you get to hold the mic down. You get 2 straight picks.
Great. I'll take John Rahm
Oh,
and I'll take Justin Thomas.
Okay.
you got the best
Let's
spot in
go.
the draft.
Well,
Wanna
what,
make
I
the
need to
case?
make a case? Yeah. John Rahm is a complete wild card because he plays on the Live Tour. Now, he hasn't finished worse than 6th on any of his Live events for the most part. But I like him this year as opposed to last year. He had a tied for 45th last year as the defending champion, and he was in disarray. His game was in disarray. His life was in disarray. He's calm now. Nathan gave me a very fine report of how he conducted himself at the press conference. He is poised. He's ready. He's locked in. I like that he played Doral last week. tough golf course.
Played well.
Ready for a major. And then Justin Thomas is my pick to win this golf tournament because I love the odds at 22-1, but Thomas has been gaining strokes on approach for about 9 months now. And the key with Justin Thomas is that his putting has greatly improved. Now, he is playing with a new caddy for the Masters. I hope it's the guy that Ben Crenshaw used. We're on the 30th anniversary of Ben Crenshaw winning in 95. If he has that guy, you might have a chance, but I don't love the idea of a new caddy.
Why is that? Why do people not like a new caddy? Everybody gets sours on a player who has a new caddy.
I think
It's like he changed doctors.
actually
This
dead,
guy?
but
Oh, yeah.
Crenshaw's caddy?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. R.I.P.
Oh, well, then he had to change caddies. Okay.
All right, I'm up. I'm taking Xander.
God,
wow,
Steady pick, best guy on the board.
wow.
Big year last year for him. Maybe it'll
Mm.
continue at the Masters. So House has Rahm and Thomas. I have Beefy Bryson and Xander as my 2. Baby, you're up.
I'm going with the
Say it right.
always. Well, this one's easy. I'm going with Koepka as my second pick. Oberg played so impressively last year.
Aberg or
I think
Oberg?
Both of them played so impressively.
Bergie. Just call him Bergie.
Bergie, Ludwig. He hits the ball a country mile, number one. He's got the short game. He finished, I believe, second last year, if I'm not mistaken. And I think he's one of the absolute future stars of the tour and will win many majors in his career. Koepka,
I love on this podcast when people suck up to the Swedes
yeah, right.
in general.
No, but I think he's
Doing a great
always a
job.
threat in the majors. He's had a very good recent history, Koepka, in the Masters. I am not sure where his game is because I don't watch Live, but
Is that a
I
political
feel like
decision
he's
or?
always looming and could be a threat this week.
All right.
We got a lot of lib guys already.
That
You
was-
have 2. Yeah.
Nathan, you're up. You have Rory and who?
God, this is a tough one because the money says you should take Joaquin Neiman here, but I just don't trust him based on the way that he played at Live last week. So I'm going to go totally off reservation and go Shane Lowry. There's a small select group of guys who can actually win this golf tournament, and it's people who come in with great ball striking. And Shane Lowry is coming in with great ball striking, and he generally starts these tournaments decently well. So let's see how he does.
All right. Speaking of great ball striking, Cousin Sal, you're up.
Oh,
Hey now.
I'm going with the shaggy dog, Cam Smith. Taking him right there. 9th last year. Top 10 in 5 of the last 7 Masters and never missed a Masters cut, which means he's going to have a nice score on by Friday. And he shaved the mullet.
That worries me.
Mullet or not, here we come. Welcome to Team Sal, Cam Smith.
Dave Chang, you have the last pick.
I asked our good friend ChatGPT to help me on this, and I asked, "What if you were Cousin Sal but successful?"
Oh, at betting?
At betting, especially when it comes to the Masters, and what would be the best long shot? I sort of did, and it also helped me with alliteration. So we got Scotty Scheffler, and we're going to Sepp Straka,
Oh, nice.
who finished
Interesting.
16th last year.
We saw him today.
Great
He looked-
approach shots,
He looked good.
and I'm trying to make Cousin Sal look good.
Okay, good. Good luck with that. I mean, that might be tougher than actually winning.
All right. So here's who we have. Chang has Scotty and Straka. Sal has Morikawa and Cam Smith. Nathan has Rory and Lowry. Baby has Bergie and Koepka.
Yes.
I have Bryson and Xander, and House has Rahm and Thomas. FanDuel, at some point tomorrow, will have odds on all of these pairings with our names.
Yeah.
And people can bet on this for Thursday, Friday.
That's so
And I'm
fun.
getting all the info from them. Who got bet on the most? All that's. I really want to have the most bets.
You do?
Yeah.
Well, you're gonna
You're the mo-
you'll get that. People like you, I think.
No, I looking at this, I think House is going to have the
I do
most
too.
bets. Rahm and
do?
Thomas.
Rahm
Yeah,
and Thomas is
I
a
think
good
House
bet.
will have the most action, which makes House public, which means he's not going to win.
You're public.
So there we go. That's it for our
I
big
like
draft.
this.
Check it out. I think we're calling Ringer 48-hour frenzy. What do you want to
yeah.
call it?
I think that's good.
And then we might do. We were talking about maybe something with the 16th hole number of people that hit the water.
Oh, the ringer rinse.
Thursday, ringer rinse.
Yeah.
Thursday, Friday, something like that.
Good times.
That's where we go. All right, we're going to take one more break and then come back with some more master stories. Swing into the biggest golf event of the year with FanDuel, where every putt and drive can bring you closer to victory, or in my case, closer to all the putts and drives. Speaking of FanDuel, our friends over there have some amazing offers. For the first major this week at Augusta, check it out. All customers get from FanDuel a no-sweat bet on first-round leaders. If your player isn't the leader after the first round, no sweat. You'll get bonus bets back to use on another bet. I like DeChambeau to win first round. Bet it. Go grab the odds. If you don't get it, no sweat. They're also giving everybody a profit boost to use on any Augusta bet every round. Boost your winnings on anything from outright winners to top 20s. And even if there will be a hole-in-one this week, don't forget to check out our ringer specials on FanDuel Sportsbook as well. We made a bunch of bets and props. FanDuel, your go-to for betting on Augusta. Tee off with a variety of bet types and live bet stuff as the tournament drama unfolds. So don't wait. Visit FanDuel.com/BS to download FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, and swing for some green. Must be 21 plus and present in select states, or 18 plus and present in D.C. Opt-in required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Game problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit rg-help.com. This episode is brought to you by Nissan. If you're planning on an adventurous 2025, you're going to need a car that can keep up with you and conquer anything in your path. The Nissan Armada Pro 4X is that car with a twin-turbo V6 engine ready to propel your adventures up to 8,500 pounds of towing capacity to haul all your favorite toys and space for 8 passengers. This unshakable fortress will chew up and spit out anything you throw at it. Learn more at the all-new 2025 Nissan Armada at nissanusa.com. Towing capacity varies by configuration. See Nissan Towing Guide and Owner's Manual for additional information. Always secure cargo. And now for a special part of today's show, Forward Thinkers of the Game, brought to you by Workday, in which we discuss the players who brought something fresh to the court. When you're a forward thinker, the only thing you're afraid of is business as usual. And Workday is the AI platform that transforms the way you manage people and money today so you can transform tomorrow. Workday, moving business forever forward. You know, they asked me to talk about a player that made me think of what I just said. Steph Curry. If you think 21st century, what NBA player impacted professional basketball and basketball the most? The three-point shooting, the skill that Steph brought to it, not only revolutionized how they played basketball in the NBA, but then inspired this whole new generation of players in high school and college, and even affected the women's game. Players like Caitlin Clark. It all basically starts with Steph when his career really starts taking off with the Warriors in 2013 and 14, and it changed the geometry of basketball. So that's one example. Anyway, you can learn more about how Workday is changing everything at workday.com. All right, now it's just the four of us. Nathan and House have Fairway Rolling. They're taping tomorrow. They're doing their big Masters preview. So I want people to listen to that. What you can't get on Fairway Rolling is what it was like to walk the course with Baby today.
What a day. What a day.
So,
Was
Baby
it
does
fun?
It was a lot of fun.
It
man.
really was.
It
I had a great time with you guys. I really did.
Yeah,
It was
because you wouldn't
awesome.
shut up. You talked about your shot and your shoulder and your strokes and how you were as a 25-year-old golfer.
I really was. You're right. I was.
The walking would have been easier if he
But
wasn't.
you know,
in
I
my
do
ear.
like talking golf with House. 'Cause
Yeah.
we have. I think we have a very similar handicap
Mhm.
and also a somewhat similar passion for the game.
He was
So
listening more.
He
than
was
talking.
very
Yeah.
intently listening.
No,
No, I don't think he was intently. Listen, this was a real highlight of my day because I didn't know that you were such a golf lunatic.
Oh, I'm
Number
a
one.
lunatic.
And number two, I kept on walking in front of you guys with Sally here, and I kept on telling Sally, like, this is insane
Yeah.
because you spoke nonstop, relentlessly.
This is not a
describing your
compliment,
entire golf
baby.
history of
Yeah.
how far you would hit every club in your bag at different ages of your
Yes,
life.
I did. It was like the evolution, the evolution of my game from age 12 to 60.
It was like a sports documentary narrative series
Right.
that nobody signed
I
up
didn't
for.
mean to annoy you guys with it. I just get so excited when
He's getting upset now.
No, I'm not upset. When I walk those hallowed grounds,
Yeah.
I get like this like energy about it. I can't help myself. I'm like obsessed with
How
it.
do you know that House was enjoying listening to this?
I think House was. I think House really loves listening to anyone
think
talk
he
about golf.
was.
You got to give him a break tomorrow.
All right,
Well,
tomorrow
you need a new
I'll walk
buddy.
with you guys tomorrow.
Well,
and I'll
here's the
leave
thing.
House.
Like we were
It's
here
hard to
listening
keep up with Simmons.
You
on the
can't keep up
course.
with Simmons, so it's going to have to be
His
someone else.
pace is very brisk.
But he's talking about his golf game and everything, and this would go for 40 minutes, and then we'd get a break from Baby. Like, oh, thank God. We don't have to listen to the golf talk. He'd go to the bathroom, or he'd go to smoke somewhere, or he'd go to the fucking pro shop for the 4th time in a day, and then he'd keep us waiting for 4. Like, so half our day was spent waiting for Baby.
Right.
And
well,
the
I
other
only
listening.
dropped, 4K today? That wasn't bad.
It's right around the over-under.
You know?
Well, so Sal,
Yeah.
Baby does this thing where he's convinced everybody who's ever met him
Oh, yeah.
knows who he is. Most
good.
famously, when he accosted Oprah Winfrey in Jimmy's dressing room
Right.
and did Oprah, you remember me, and she didn't. And then he's like, no, Oprah, you remember me.
Right.
And it's a famous story. So we were wondering if he would do that today in the golf course, and you take it from here.
There were a couple, right? It was Cam Smith, who's on my team.
Yes, it
And
was.
because there was a Wake Forest connection. Your daughter
Yes,
went to Wake
two
Forest.
of my daughters
Yes.
did, yes.
And he was eating a banana after his tee shot. And what'd you do?
Well, so can I
go ahead.
give background?
Yeah.
So 17, and he's like, I'm gonna get Cam Smith's attention.
Yes,
Yeah, with the Wake Forest thing.
yes, I
And we're like, baby, definitely don't do that. He's doing a practice round. He's trying to figure out distances. He's not going to acknowledge you. He's like, no. I think I can get him.
yes.
So he's walking by eating a banana, and what happens?
Cam, Wake Forest. Wait, I said Cam,
We're rooting for you.
we're rooting for you. Best of luck this week. Didn't look up from
Just
peeling his
working on the banana, right?
And as I said, Wake Forest guy, Wake Forest connection. He continued to peel the banana and stick it in his mouth and look the other way.
He seemed like he paused for a split second.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
But
he
that
at
was
least
it.
might have paused. And then there was a follow-up.
Well, so then there was another one that I thought was a better one. So there, Rory McIlroy. Chang, how dubious were you of this when
I
when
didn't
Baby said I can get Rory to come over
I don't know.
on the 18th?
I can't express how I felt truly because I didn't know I'd feel embarrassment on that hole because you said you were going to do it, and I didn't think you were going to do it with Cam, but you did, and it was embarrassing, quite frankly, for you.
Yeah.
And us because we were there. I thought
I wasn't embarrassed at all. I was delighted.
He'd
So-
be lucky to know me. For
now
God's
I
sakes.
knew you weren't joking that you were really going to talk to Rory because you have had interactions.
I
in the
have
past.
had multiple interactions with him.
Not
We
today.
I don't want to say we're neighbors at the Bears Club, but we're neighbors at the Bears Club.
Mm.
So
And
you
he's
position
always been a
yourself.
wonderful guy to me and very kind. He's a gentleman.
Can we
all that.
unwind that for a second?
Yes.
I don't want to say I'm neighbors with him at the Bears Club,
But
but
we're
I'm
neighbors.
neighbors with him at the Bears
Yeah,
Club.
does
because
that
it
even
sounds
mean?
so ridiculous. His house is so incredibly
But
beautiful.
does that mean you're neighbors with him at the Bears
I
Club?
mean,
or-
he's around the corner. Yeah, there's only 80
Yeah. It
houses.
sounds like neighbor.
All right, but
He's kind of a
that doesn't
neighbor.
mean he knows you.
No, I didn't say he knows me well, but he doesn't know me well, but when he sees me, he knows who I am. How's that?
So that Bears clubhouse, that was like the 4th Colbert extension. With, like when you try to
Shit.
assign the fees to
Hey,
the
I
houses.
think that was
My
after
den
midnight.
is the Simmons wing. What are you complaining about? Cousin
right.
Sal is my outdoor grill.
How
Come
dare
on.
you? How dare
You know?
That just means you're a shitty agent. That's what that means.
So go
Well,
ahead.
Who is he playing with? I can't remember. Oh, amateur, I believe.
Yeah.
And he
Yes.
hits a bomb of a drive on 18.
Totally.
And, to Bill's credit, he got us to look at how narrow and how stressful it is to actually play 18. The
Yeah,
TV
that-
doesn't really do it justice.
There's
pretty
like
great.
5 things you kind of have to see at the Masters, and one of them is you have to stand behind the 18th tee to see
That was so good.
how
You're
hard
right.
that is to just thread the needle with the amount of pressure that you
Yes,
might be
you're
facing
right.
on
You're
18.
right.
It's like
It's easy
there's
to
no
shank.
other.
And it's like
Yeah.
dead uphill.
giant trap. Only really one spot to hit it, and 19 things can go
Big tree
wrong.
to the left.
Not to mention all the people lined up that you feel like.
And it's
God.
18. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Rory bombs his drive right down the middle, 300 plus. And, you know, you say you're going to talk to Rory, and you have like this prime spot as he's going to walk past.
Yes.
And I had to turn my back to you.
We backed off and gave him
We backed off.
Like it was a, like it was a Yo Mama
let me
fight
give
or
you
something.
some space,
Yeah.
baby doll.
I just couldn't see this car crash that was
So,
going to
Sal,
happen.
do you want to reenact what Baby
here's
said?
the other side of it. Imagine if he came over, how great that fucking moment would have been, right?
But-
Wouldn't that have been cool?
But
if he
what did you
actually
say?
came over?
You said, Rory, baby doll.
Yes, I did.
That was
I
it.
did.
It was just 3 words.
That's exactly what happened.
And he heard he didn't, not only didn't he stop, I think he sped up when he heard baby doll.
He cracked a little smile. I don't
like
know.
that-
Maybe I'm imagining
Like,
it.
oh, this is my prison cellmate from
No,
15
so
years
you were
ago.
hoping-
I had just, in my defense,
Yeah.
he wins the Players 2 weeks ago, or 3. How many weeks ago was that? 3 weeks ago
Mhm.
now.
And you guys are neighbors.
And I
What is
saw
this?
him in the men's grill, and I, of course, congratulated him profusely. And
Like 1,000 people
and he was
did.
sitting with Shane Lowry at the table, and I talked to him for a minute, and did the baby doll thing. And
What is the baby doll thing?
I think we saw it today.
That's-
the baby
that's,
doll. He calls someone's name and they don't respond. That's the that's the
but
baby doll.
I thought maybe it was semi-fresh in his mind.
Yeah.
So that's why I had a modicum of confidence
Mm.
that he was going to go, oh, baby doll. Oh, okay, I'll look, whatever. Didn't work out that way. But
No. Well, as it turns out, these guys are practice rounding and
Yeah.
trying to figure out their shots and the distances on every
You
drive.
You picked
And
Rory.
the baby doll didn't really trigger him at
didn't
all.
really-
Wouldn't you have been a little weirded out? You picked Rory. If he was so unfocused that he did come over.
I
and
would
say
have
hi
been
to him.
concerned.
I
course.
feel like they're actually, I know they're, but like he's played this tournament,
Mm.
20 times, 15 times. It's loose out there in these practice rounds.
All right. So
They're-
he just doesn't like you.
I
Okay.
guess.
So
I
0 for
guess.
2 is
0
the
for 2.
legacy.
I was 0 for 2.
Sal, can you tell the
But
origin?
there's always tomorrow.
Can you tell the origin of the baby doll story? Because you named him Baby Doll.
I don't think there's much to it other than he says baby doll. He calls everyone baby doll. And I thought this was funny. And then so I started calling him baby doll.
That's
right?
exactly right.
I mean,
Cuz.
but it's not fair that he gets to call everyone baby doll and we don't call him baby
No, I
doll
mean,
back.
You
was really
are-
it. There's not much to
you
it.
You are the guy who
But to
coined
me,
it.
this is like, I don't know why no one did this. I met him 25 years ago. Someone should have done this 40 years ago.
True.
This is like wheels on luggage. Like luggage always should have had wheels, right? Not
Yes.
1978 and 81.
I like
right?
that. I like
Thank
that
you.
metaphor.
Yeah, well, that's
baby.
it. You should have been baby
Well,
doll.
thank
So you
you.
were hoping because everyone calls you Baby Doll and you call everybody Baby Doll.
Correct.
Yeah.
Somewhere in Rory's head, as he's figuring out the course, how his swing is,
Mhm.
the distances, that the Baby Doll would trigger like a Pavlovian response.
Yes, I did.
And he'd be
think
like,
that.
oh, that guy I really like.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
totally. Isn't that insane of me? But yes, that was what was going
Baby,
through
baby
my
doll.
fucked up mind.
I have to say, upon reflection, it's your performance today was inspirational.
This is
Right?
why I love you, Chang. Thank you.
You have to try.
You-
Failure's not an option.
That's
You
right.
just gotta
You know?
try. You
Well, what's
don't know
that-
what you're gonna get, and
You
that's
don't
the
ask, you
baby
don't
doll
get.
magic is just not being afraid.
That's it.
Right.
You
Well,
got
isn't that the Wayne Gretzky quote?
Uh,
You miss 100%
Right,
of
That's
the
it.
shots you
That's-
don't take.
That's exactly
right.
it.
Good,
you know,
baby.
and I know he's a really like decent guy when you talk to him. He's a gentleman beyond belief. And
Why should we believe you?
no, because he just is, and like he's not some disengaged guy, and he's always very polite and,
Right.
and engaged. And so I thought maybe, and it was relatively recent that we bullshitted, and
All right.
0 for 2.
Didn't
what can I
work.
say? I tried.
But that wasn't really the highlight. Sort of the highlight for me was we were talking to a member of Augusta National, and somehow you just let it be known that you were a board member of Wake Forest. right off the bat,
Absolutely.
which had nothing to do with the conversation at all.
You were so proud of that.
Why did I bring that
Well,
up?
because he brought up.
Context did I bring that up? No, I'm like, you're right. I did bring it up.
I hate
But
to add context to this, but we're talking about the LPGA and Wake Forest
Yes,
golfers. Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
Thank you for the
I'm sorry.
refresher.
Yeah.
Yes, and he was talking about the ladies amateur being held at Augusta,
Which is
And
picking up steam here.
I think one of the things I learned today is Baby's very proud to be on the board at Wake Forest.
I am. It's an honor. It really is. It's an amazing.
You weren't shy about it.
institution.
You told the person who made us a pimento cheese sandwich all about it. And pretty much everybody
I
else.
think I wonder what is it? Your grandkids, your family, Wake Forest board, John Stewart, and then way lower all of those other clients.
Okay,
And
I'll go
Jimmy's
with
like
that.
not
That's
way
a-
down.
Oh, yeah, okay,
Jimmy's
yeah,
like
yeah,
under
Jimmy's
John
under
Stewart.
No,
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
Jimmy, of course.
Yeah. But
Close.
this Wake Forest thing shot to the top. I mean, you were
Remember
really,
when the Bachelor Matt James was
Oh,
in there
yeah.
for like
right,
a year?
That's the
no, when he was
He's-
like right there with Stewart.
right.
It's like neck and neck.
He was.
You were
gaining.
dropping his
He
name
was
everywhere.
gaining, absolutely. Well, hey, you're only the Bachelor once, right?
There's one more baby. There are like so many baby doll
Yeah,
stories.
it's
It's been a
only
true
Tuesday.
joy getting to.
It's only
spend
been
a
one day.
It's
We
been
have
one
3 days
day.
left.
It just is
We got
amazing. It
3
feels
more
like Christmas.
days. What's this going to be?
So you disappeared quite often. You got in trouble for
Oh,
smoking
yeah.
cigarettes.
Oh, yeah,
That was also a highlight.
Okay, fair enough.
This
yeah,
is the
well,
story.
yeah. all
But the
right.
real highlight was you disappeared, and I think amongst the 5 of us, we're like, what's going on here? Why are you not here?
Right.
And you come back, and we all had to sort of eat crow because you bought us all hats.
Yes, I did.
And then,
It was worth the wait.
but funny. Can you describe what happened? Because it was one of the funnier things.
we waited like a half hour for
Yeah.
him, right? And I'm like, what the? And we
He
had
said he
just
needed a hat
gone
because
to
the sun
pro
was
shop.
hot. And for some reason, he was scared about skin cancer for once.
Yeah.
Interesting.
All of a
And
sudden-
decided to
no,
get a
I
hat.
actually wanted this exact.
Is that what it
hat.
was?
Yeah, because they didn't have it at the.
He was in the pro shop
Berkman's.
for like an hour and a half, and then 40 minutes later has to shop even more.
Yes,
So I was like,
I did.
worse than my
It's-
wife.
it's a-
And then so then he comes out
It's-
and like Chang says, he starts throwing, he like gives us all hats. He's like, here, take a hat. He spent like $250 on
And
hats.
we're talking to some fans of
Bills. This happening Bills. A guy smoking comes up, talks to Bill, says hi, and baby
I like that
doll.
guy.
And I don't know how you said it, but you had an extra hat because so many of us had bought hats already 20 minutes before. And you throw it at the guy, and you're like, "Here, you're smoking. Take a hat."
Here, have a hat. You almost knocked the cigarette out of his mouth.
Yeah.
And he's like,
He's-
"You almost hit me in the head." And you're like, "Well, you got a fucking free hat."
Yeah, what are you complaining about? I mean, come on, dude. Oh, a fucking hat hurt your neck? What happened? You know?
I think one of the Masters is so polite.
Yeah.
And when
Yeah, it
people
is.
would get mad at Baby for smoking in areas that you weren't supposed to smoke in,
Right.
it wasn't like sir, you're going to have to put that out. It was more like a disappointed,
Yeah.
sir, can you
Yes,
please?
they're all
can you?
so
There
Yeah.
are smoking areas we
gentlemanly,
could lead you
kind.
to.
Yes, there's a designated smoking area over here. I can escort you.
Yeah.
It's like, I just put it out already, okay? You don't need to escort
Yeah.
me. I'll be lighting one in about 5 minutes anyway. So, it's all
Baby,
good.
what's the worst, most depressing designated smoking area you've ever smoked in? Have you smoked in those airport ones where it's like almost
in
you're
Europe where they used to have the like
you're almost
smoking?
in like
Absolutely,
Andy
I've smoked
Dufresne,
in
like
there.
solitary
it's
confinement.
literally a smoke
in a
chamber.
coal mine.
Yeah.
Yes, I have smoked in there. Of course. I used to go like say to myself, why don't they have this in America? You know, I love that they have this in London.
Smoke chambers?
Yeah, smoke chambers. It's like they all have pet
Right.
walking relief areas. Why not have smoking areas?
Did you used to smoke like on airplanes, trains,
course.
everything?
Just gonna ask him that.
Absolutely.
Really?
And did you ever like get in an argument with anybody?
You know, not really. No, because it was
It's legal.
legal.
Can you imagine
just
someone
smoke-
lighting up next to you on a plane?
Imagine
That's
sitting
it,
next to
everything.
Baby on a
That's
train.
it.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
You're taking like the Excella from
Yeah.
New York
My
to
God.
Boston. And
Yeah.
he's just
So
like lighting
awesome.
up.
But those
You're like,
were,
oh, this cologne. I can't take this 4 hours. Oh, and what the
Those
fuck?
were
What is this? A cigarette? What is he doing to me?
those were designated smoking sections. So if you were all the planes,
I don't even
were the worst.
understand that.
Not the planes, but
Yeah.
like the trains. If you were in a smoking car, you know, not my
Right.
problem at that point, right? There
I mean,
are,
that was an amazing era where, because I would take the train back and forth
Insanity.
between my mom and my dad.
Yeah.
and you're going to walk to the cafe car and you just walk through the smoking car and it's just like lung cancer for
Right.
Well, the
10
insane
seconds
were the planes where one row behind
was
you
not
could-
smoking.
Right,
Yeah.
you could smoke pipes, cigars, cigarettes, and if
Right.
you're one row behind, it's like this is
You're
So
just
insane.
people
getting
would use the
annihilated.
actual ashtray in the armrest.
Absolutely, I love that freaking. I love that ashtray. I really did. They had them on the old cars too. Remember, but no, wait. You were asking me about
Most depressing smoking places.
depressing.
Yeah.
Or
Well, because
weirdest.
sometimes the smokers get relegated to the kids' table of life.
Yeah, it's not fair.
Yeah, I'll tell you the idea that I could smoke in the office up until like it wasn't even that long in 2000 you could smoke in the office. So 25 years ago you could, even as an assistant sitting in a cubicle in common areas, and I used to run like a fan under my desk to just kind of like spread the smoke. But yeah, that was insane to think that you could do that. Now in New York City, it's 25 feet away from the building. So if you smoke near a building, you often get reprimanded.
You've paid a smoking fee in a rental car like
Of
50
course,
times, right?
Of course I have. And hotels.
Good for you, man.
Baby gets offended if there's some sort of penalty for smoking in
Right.
a rental car. He just assumes.
I for the percentage of how many rental cars I've had that I've smoked in and the times I've been nailed, I've done very, very
Chang,
well.
what was it like to have a cigarette that your wife probably should know about with Baby Doll last night?
Oh.
You know, every time I see Baby Doll, Baby gives me a cigarette, and
right.
it's just a joyous occasion. I sucked that thing down, and it was awesome.
Thank you. And you love that I have Marlboro Reds,
Yeah.
right?
I mean, listen, the only way you'd be cooler is if you smoke filterless cigarettes.
Yeah, when are you
Oh,
gonna
like
do
the
that?
Italians?
Yeah.
Step it up.
They get your fingers yellow. That's the problem with
Mm.
them. Otherwise, I kind of
Yeah,
like
Baby's
the
enough
filter.
colors.
Yeah,
He
right,
doesn't need
exactly.
to add yellow fingers.
What is it?
You have enough colors going on
I don't
already.
change
need
my
yellow
orange fingers
Yeah,
yellow.
Look, they're pretty good for
I'd have my
smoking.
fingers be orange.
No, like another thing that happened. Yeah, it's been total joy.
By the way,
Hanging out with
is he
you.
going to come on Thursday night too? We'll probably have
Yeah.
1,000
Yeah.
Baby Dolls.
So,
tonight.
like,
it's going to be the whole podcast.
Yeah.
I mean, The
Exactly.
Ringer has a great podcast about TV shows and White Lotus.
Yeah.
I think last night I almost pissed my pants because before we all went to bed, we were watching the last episode of season 3, White Lotus, all
Yes.
over again.
Yes.
It's amazing.
And
Oh, fuck.
I just couldn't stop laughing because I think that we need to have a alt cast of you.
A Manning cast, that's
Yeah.
the Baby cast.
Baby cast.
Not safe
yeah.
for work.
It's like a rewatchables, but live.
Yeah, because
Right.
you were the only
Maybe-
one seeing it live. Yes,
I'm not-
yes,
Right.
yes,
I
yes.
hadn't seen that
Right.
episode.
I'm not sure live would be the best idea,
Yeah.
but
Probably not.
maybe.
Just
We
it would
need to
need
edit.
about 16 or 17 hours.
Yeah,
of
so we
editing.
watched.
but I think it would be good. Yeah.
We
Good,
watched
good,
last
sir.
night. We'd all seen it, but Baby hadn't seen it, so we watched White Lotus with you. There was a couple.
Wild. Listen,
I liked when he
He's
told the
fucking-
guy to jump at the end. Tim Ratliff is looking out.
You were
He's like,
so
jump!
He's going to make them drink that shit? What the fuck you trying to kill your kids
It's
for?
like you
I mean,
forgot-
you've been trying to kill yourself for 9 episodes. Just fucking jump. Get it over with.
It's like you forgot that we were in the room with you watching.
Yes,
Yeah.
I did.
You were
kind
so
of. I
in
had
it.
a few
Right.
glasses of wine. I was tired from the day,
Mm.
and
Yeah, there was a lot of strays
There
at
was-
on the White Lotus cast.
yeah. But
Guy talk. You put some chest hair on him during
Oh
the show.
yeah, guy talk.
Told him to grow a
Yeah.
pair.
Pussy. I mean, I've never seen a bigger pussy hold a gun. You know, it's like, come on.
What other TV are you watching, baby? Before we go, any other favorites?
He watches from the
I
couch.
watched the first 2 episodes of Mobland. I thought it was amazing.
Ah.
Have you seen Mobland?
I haven't seen it yet.
Oh.
How about 1923?
Nah, I haven't seen that.
A lot of smoking in that
I
show.
loved Mobland.
Mobland, okay.
Yes. Second episode, a lot of setup in episode 1 and it's good. Second episode, you see where it's going. It's awesome. Tom Hardy is incredible.
Who for your money is the best smoker in movies or TV?
Oh, great
as an
question.
actual smoker,
Yeah.
who
You
pulls
mean
it off?
like in real life?
No,
No, who
when
pulls
they
off smoking the
smoke?
best?
I'll tell you. Brad Pitt's pretty good at it in
What?
movies. Doesn't he
Really?
smoke in like in Once Upon a Time in
He
Hollywood?
does like turns
yeah,
the hand.
I
Yeah.
like the way he smokes
Really?
in it.
Damon, we just did Good Will Hunting for rewatchables, and Damon's really
he's
good in that
Is
movie.
he? Okay.
And Cole Hauser in that movie, Chris Ryan did a whole thing about
Oh, really?
how he gets rid of a cigarette, grabs a beer,
Yeah.
and waves them for the car all in one
All in
motion.
one
Oh,
It's really
very
good.
I got
Yeah, it's really
that
good.
But
out.
De Niro is
De
usually
Niro
a
to me
good-
is the GOAT. De Niro and Goodfellas, that's the best
Probably,
ever.
yes. Okay, fair enough. I'll go with
All
that.
right.
Yes.
Remember the scene when he's sizing up Maury when he
Yeah.
decides to
Yes,
kill Maury?
Maury,
Boom, boom,
he's just
boom,
kind of staring him
Yeah.
down, taking a slow drag. Yeah.
There's been some bad smokers too.
All right.
Mm.
Who would be an example? Well, who
There-
would be an example?
Out of
a
movies
bad
we've done in
smoker?
rewatchables, like there's a really tough Keanu Reeves hardball scene.
Oh, really?
He's trying to smoke. He's like a degenerate, but it's clear.
You're right, though.
But Tom Cruise is the worst. I mean,
You can tell who
Yeah.
the real non-smokers are, who have never really smoked in their life,
Mm.
who are just smoking because the character.
I think
dictates.
Keanu's a real smoker, though.
You think?
Yeah, he is.
he screwed up the hardball thing.
Mm.
I don't know. In Constantine, he smokes a lot.
The
Very
people
well.
like the Cruise type of people are always my favorites.
Could you be brought on
who
as a
was-
consultant,
You know who
baby?
was a great smoker? A smoking consultant?
Yeah,
Yeah.
You
sure.
should.
I'd love to.
like they have
That's
doctors
Is that
for
a union
ER.
job? Because
I think it kind of is. Yeah.
Leonardo in Django Unchained
Yeah.
playing Candy was his last name, but I can't remember his
Whatever.
first
Not
name.
a great character.
But he smoked with that cigarette holder,
Yeah.
and man, he was good at it. He was really
ever
good
done a
at
cigarette
that
holder?
movie. I have tried them when I was a kid. They're fucking ridiculous. I mean, I don't even know what that is. It's like,
Hey, baby, did you
You
ever
know?
go through a phase where you rolled your own cigarettes?
no.
You never did.
No.
Mm.
Yeah, how could you recreate a Marlboro, a work of fucking art? You know,
I'm,
you know my old
I'm
joke.
tearing
right?
up there.
No.
You know the
What
old
is it?
joke.
Is it offensive?
No, not at all.
Okay.
Not at all. No, baby doll, how much you smoke? I smoke a lot. No, seriously, how much you smoke? I smoke a lot. No, like seriously, how much do you smoke? Well, let me put it to you this way. I go through 2 lighters a day.
There you go.
That was a Bill Hicks line that I adopted.
Oh, you just said that's your joke.
And no, well, I
All right.
adopted it. May he rest in peace.
Yes.
But it does get people off when you do that joke. They stop asking how much you smoke. It just diffuses the
I'm
whole
not gonna
thing.
stop.
We asked
I'm
you
never-
yesterday
Pretty
what
good joke.
what celebrity did you have the most cigarettes with over the last 35 years? And Dennis Leary's name came up.
Dennis
Bill
Leary
Hicks
was up there. Hicks was up there.
And who was the
else?
one we decided?
Chappelle.
Chappelle.
Yeah.
Oh, tons of cigarettes with Chappelle.
I mean,
on the road.
Chappelle is one
He's
one of the all time.
greatest smoker
Right.
of this generation.
Better smoker
God
or
bless him.
comedian?
Oh wow!
Right?
I mean, I'm going to go with comedian because that's a real talent, and he's.
Don't
but-
sell yourself short.
But what I love about Chappelle is he smokes everywhere he goes. It doesn't matter.
Mhm.
Hotel rooms, wherever, lobbies of hotels, Studio 8H on SNL.
He's
It
like
doesn't matter
Snoop,
if it's a fire
but with
zone.
cigarettes. Yeah.
He's always smoking. Comedy clubs, you're not
Sure.
supposed to smoke in there anymore.
Right.
He's got a cigarette going everywhere. And may God have mercy on the soul of anybody who tells him, put that cigarette out.
And you've
Amen.
actually spent real time with Chappelle. So if you did
I
the
have.
ship, Dave, it's Baby
I
Doll,
think
he
he
would
would.
actually stop and come over.
Oh, come on. He come over for, Dave, I've known since.
I think you should have thrown a
18.
hat at Rory like you did that other guy. And then maybe he would have gotten his attention that
Imagine.
way.
Don't give me ideas tomorrow. There's always tomorrow.
Baby,
Plenty
before
of-
we go, what is your single favorite thing about Augusta? And try to turn toward these guys so you're on the camera at least a little bit. Just getting the
sorry,
side of
I'm
Baby's
not
head
in
for
show
20 minutes.
business. I have no idea. how
But
this
I
works.
don't, I'm not a talent.
Hold on. Let me think for a second because I love so much of it.
Well, I'll talk to Chang about it as you
Okay,
for some reason
go
think
ahead.
of your answer for
Go
2
ahead.
minutes. Chang, what's your favorite thing about Augusta? Because you're like a naturally kind of pessimistic guy.
Yeah.
We've been friends for a long time.
Mm.
This
And,
place
and you
really
see where I'm like happy.
But
Yeah, this place, like,
but
really-
You said a whole thing in the car on the way to the course about how incredible Augusta and the operation and
Yeah.
the whole thing. You've kind of been inside
Mhm.
the gates.
I'm one of the maybe the only person that's ever had behind the scenes access because I filmed some stuff in like
Right.
2019 when Tiger won. And I think that it's, number one, the best sporting event you can go to in America.
Yes.
It's the best run operation,
100%.
business or anything otherwise,
They're-
maybe out there.
It's flawless.
Everything is done with intention and it's executed at a high level.
Yes.
And I think it's just, I'm happy here. I just am. And I'm not normally, as Bill knows.
I'm right with you. I mean, it's golf heaven when you step on that course. It's like no other
But you don't
course.
even have to like golf to appreciate
you don't.
it.
You don't. But if you love golf like we do, it's so unique. It's such a different, everything about it is so, it's like if you died and went to heaven, and that was
Like Field of Dreams
heaven.
cornfield.
It is that. And also, like, I just love being around anything golf, and that is kind of this is the cradle and apex of golf and golf fans, and it's just my whole vibe, you know. I love it.
I was thinking, because I was thinking about it today, because I'd been to I went to the US Open, but I went to a couple golf tournaments in the last couple of years.
Sure.
And all these other courses, like basically every other course that has a tournament, they're also the tournament comes in and out. It's the course isn't built for the tournament. It's built for
Correct.
52 weeks a year of having members.
Yes.
And then they kind of shoehorn the tournament into it. And there'll be porta potties and weird cart paths, and the parking's weird and things are disjointed. All this place cares about is this week, right? I mean, they have other stuff. They have the members and all that stuff, but
Yes.
it's all like a long game for this one
Correct.
week.
It all
And
boils
every
down
single
to
thing
it.
has to be perfect from the moment you show up to when you walk toward the thing and you go through the gates. Every single thing you see, they've really put thought into. And I just,
Totally.
I appreciate that.
I think it
That's
was like a
amazing.
combination. It has an immaculate feel of Disneyland and like Central Park. And there's, like you said, and I think it's because they're not different events moving in and out. There's no wasted space. Forget about the greens. You turn a corner and you're going to see a shade of green you've never seen before. That's
Yeah.
great too. But even the pathways and everything, like you're talking about, like it doesn't seem like there's any wasted space. It's all beautiful.
Well, and
It
then
really
we
is.
talked about this every time we come, but the no phone thing is actually a real advantage. Even
Yeah.
Sal, we were worried about Sal.
I think I did okay.
Yeah.
Sal had withdrawal for the first
You
2
did.
hours.
Well, I went to my pocket like
Yes.
7 times in
Yeah,
the first
you really
half
were
hour,
like
but
jonesing for that.
And then I
phone.
felt like, you know, it was a little White Lotus-y when Saxon starts reading about halfway through the season.
right.
And it's like, maybe there's more.
Interesting.
Maybe
That's funny.
maybe I can test myself.
That's hilarious.
And it's like, you were like, maybe I don't have to try to figure out how to bet on this practice
I
round
think
right
you're
You
now.
right.
have to like just kind of like acclimate yourself to where you were and
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
accept it and then go, okay, I'm
It helped
here.
that we were all talking to each other and making each other laugh. It's like when someone's sick and they're going to vomit. You're like, all right, if you talk to this person enough,
They're not
you
going
get
to
them
think
out
about
of
it.
it. I don't have to focus on it. But
Chang, were you disappointed Sal didn't eat more?
what are you talking? What?
Number one,
I'm jump on his
On the
For
course. I mean, on the
yeah,
course.
but for those that don't know, Sal is not a big drinker.
Right.
And the fact that he started the day with the Bloody Mary, I was like,
Right.
this is an auspicious sign.
Yes.
It's
I-
going to be a good week. Number
Mhm.
one. 2, he ate a lot of food. It
Thank you.
was disgusting.
Thank you.
And then
Lot
when we
of
hit the
seafood.
course,
Yeah.
you ate a pimento cheese sandwich, and I knew you were full. I knew you were disgustingly full,
Right.
but you still wolfed
I
it
ate
down.
it.
And I was like, this guy.
And an oatmeal
he's
cookie.
bringing-
He's
You're
not gonna
bringing your
waste
A
that.
game.
Yeah.
For a
Thank you.
$1.50, he's not wasting that.
People
stuff.
need to know the food here is amazing. It's affordable. You could buy 12 beers for $12. Where could you
Yeah.
do that anywhere else?
You're right.
Yeah, it's only $3,000 to get in, but then they give, for
Well, that's
cheese
what-
and Wonder Bread,
That's
they
what
charge it
makes
out.
the
Yeah.
Masters so different. Touch on what you said, Bill, which is, it's the only, obviously the only major that's always in the
Right.
same location, right? So that alone sets it apart from all the other majors, and like everyone's just so fucking happy to be there
Yeah.
because it is expensive, and you have to, get to it, and like it's a bucket list place that at least half those people, at least
Mhm.
half, are there for the first time, and everybody's just like, "Holy shit, pinch me! I did it."
Well, listen, all I'll have to say is, as the great Carrie Coon said in White Lotus, I'm happy to have a seat at the table. But I am going to make a mess at that seat with bread and rice and cheese and everything else when I get up. Thanks for having us.
I so hope
Simmons.
Sal finishes last in the pick so that we can load down a
Good chance.
pimento pulled pork,
Egg salad,
egg salad,
chicken biscuit,
chicken biscuit. What else?
BLT. It's the Masters Club, which is like a
Masters
BLT.
Club.
I mean, that sounds
What else?
great.
I
Now,
think that's
I
it.
hope I finish last too now. If you put it that way.
We're going to be back Thursday for more stuff.
Yeah.
Chang, you have a beautiful face. Sal, you have a beautiful life.
What about
Baby, you're just beautiful in general.
So are you, baby? Doll.
Thank you. Thank you to you three. Thanks to House and Nathan as well. Thanks to Gahao and Kyle
So
and
fun.
Eduardo for helping us out today in the on the pod. And we're going to be back on Thursday. Don't forget to check out the Prestige TV podcast and the rewatchables as well. If you missed White Lotus, if you missed our rewatchables we did on The Saint with Val Kilmer, and I hope you're checking out Celtic City on Max as well. We will see you on Thursday.